Payday, payday, you'll want payday. I know that. Canelo Alvarez is going out sad. He really is. I said Canelo Alvarez is going out sad, people. Y'all didn't want to believe me, but the truth is back. Canelo Alvarez, it's looking bad, y'all. So Eddie Hearn did a recent interview. He was obviously promoting Bam Rodriguez, sensational performance by him. And he was asked by the media about Canelo Alvarez. Baby, you know what? I was born ready, right? So he got asked about Canelo Alvarez. This is what he had to say. Quote, I've never heard of William Skoll in my life. That's Canelo's mandatory. I'm sure he's a good fighter. And the other one is Edgar Berlanga, who is a Puerto Rican knockout artist. Berlanga has a good chance of getting the fight with Canelo because a fight between them will sell in the New York area, and there will be a lot of interest compared to if he defends against his IBF mandatory William Skoll. He's fought on ESPN and DAZN. Everybody knows him, and it's a competitive fight. So I think he'll fight Edgar Berlanga next. Vegas, New York, or wherever. If the Sphere fight, then maybe they'll want to do it in New York. Against Rocky Fielding 4 years ago, I like it. Canelo is a creature of habit as well. He likes Vegas, but he also likes fighting in Texas, but New York, end quote. So basically, Eddie Hearn is saying that he thinks Canelo will duck David Benavidez to fight either William Skoll or his fighter, Edgar Berlanga. I think it is very safe to say that Boxingego was right yet again. The great Ego Stradamus strikes again. I'm the best in the world, best in the business, and it's not even close. I told you Canelo didn't want no smoke. Smoking on top 5. Smoking, I'm that guy. I told you he didn't want no smoke with David Benavidez. If you didn't understand it before, I know you understand it now. If you didn't see it before, I know you see it now. There's no way anyone on God's green earth can tell me that Canelo truly, at this stage of his career, wants to fight the best and wants to fight a guy like David Benavidez. For example, why are we talking about mandatories, William Skoll and Edgar Berlanga, but when Canelo was at middleweight and Jermall Charlo undefeated, he hadn't been inactive, they were in the same weight class. This was before Canelo moved to higher weight classes, super middleweight, light heavyweight. Those would have been great fights for Canelo Alvarez, like a Jermall Charlo. Demetrius Andrade at 154 never took him. And the public was demanding these fights and saying, yo, Canelo, you should fight Boo Boo Andrade. People want to laugh and point the finger because David Benavidez handled Demetrius Andrade years later after he couldn't get the big fights. So that wasn't the case. He was far more active and whatnot. And you can't celebrate. Boxing fans, a lot of them are emotional beta males. Here's why. A lot of the Canelo fans celebrated when Boo Boo Andrade, a black fighter, was beaten and made to quit in the Benavidez fight. But the same Canelo fans also tried to enable Canelo to duck David Benavidez. So they only liked David Benavidez when he took out Demetrius Andrade, who had been barking up that Canelo tree for many, many years. That's the only time they showed love or paid homage to Demetrius Andrade, is when he lost. And they're trying to big up him losing to a guy. At least David Benavidez got the heart to fight an undefeated southpaw who other people didn't want to fight and had trouble getting fight. Canelo didn't do it. So I never understood that. It reminds me of when Devin Haney put Gervonta Davis's knockout where he made Ryan Garcia quit, and Devin Haney tried to sell shirts saying Ryan is not La Raza, Mexicans for Haney. Why are you advertising somebody else's victory, somebody else's work? To me, that looks really, really weird. Just like the Canelo fans celebrating Benavidez taking Boo Boo Andrade's undefeated record. Canelo didn't do it. And he wouldn't do it because he never fought him. Even when Andre ran up at the press conference, they didn't say that Canelo should fight him. So the Canelo fans have all these built-in excuses why at certain times Charlo, Jamal, not Jamel, the one he fought, at 160 doesn't deserve the fight, or Andre doesn't deserve the fight, or Benavidez now doesn't deserve the fight, because they know at those times these guys are all threats to Canelo and his lineage and his legacy and his record. So they'll come up with all these cop-outs and excuses like, oh, David Benavidez, who's he beat? Canelo himself has said that. He's like, you fight with nobody. You fight one Darrell, Anthony Darrell. Please do not, you know what I mean? And he's saying, don't disrespect me. How is it disrespectful? Because the fans want to see you fight someone good. People know Canelo's good, so they want to see you fight someone who we believe is good. But Canelo doesn't want it. And I think what I've said all along, the Canelo era is over. You got guys like Gervonta Davis. You got up-and-comers like Kermel Moulton and Bam Rodriguez and guys like Abdullah Mason. They're the next generation, the next breed, and they're hungry. And you can't replace hunger in boxing. It is so apparent when the fighter who once was the man is no longer the man, and they're in the whole silk pajamas echelon of their career, right? And it's so funny because a lot of the racist Canelo fans, they said they hated Floyd because he cherry picked and wait till people got old. Floyd was still fighting ranked top guys till the end of his career. You know, Berto was ranked, former champion, right? Guys like Pacquiao, that's the fight everyone wanted to see. Maidana twice. Guys like Guerrero, that was his mandatory. Canelo, when Floyd was 36 and Canelo was 23 and in his prime. We just seen Bam Rodriguez the other night fought Estrada, and you seen the up-and-coming young 24-year-old was too much for the 35-year-old veteran, and he was beating him to the punch. He was outspeeding him. But then when it came to Canelo being the young, supposed to be bigger, stronger, more athletic guy versus Floyd, he got dog walked. So, like I said, Canelo's star power continues to fade and dim. And if he does fight a guy like Berlanga, I think it's going to do terrible numbers. I don't care what Eddie Hearn's talking about Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga has been fighting Irishmen that fights that people haven't even been really checking for, and opponents that nobody knows, similar to like what Teofimo just fought Steve Claggett. He's been fighting Claggett level Irishmen. So they're in no shape. If the numbers from Canelo Munguia didn't get like posted and didn't get talked about it, so I would imagine they didn't do as good as they anticipated, because usually if the number is a massive success and commercial success, the numbers come out. So if the numbers didn't come out for Munguia, just expect the Berlanga numbers to be worse. So it's just it's amazing to me that boxing is still throwing away money and like investing in Canelo with the wrong fights, as if it's going to generate this huge interest. And Canelo just kind of like living off his past accomplishments at this point. And then we're hearing other reports talking about Canelo needs a tune-up and then he might fight Crawford. Why do you need a tune-up for a guy who's coming up dang near 2-3 weight classes? Because he hasn't even fought Madrimov yet. So I don't know what's up with the Crawford fight, but all I know is the Berlanga fight is not gonna sell. And Eddie Hearn saying that could be next for Canelo. Fede.